Our next inductee is a quiet force on two of the most successful teams in Connecticut. After developing and winning state cups in the Mansfield youth soccer program, she went on to E.O. Smith High School in Storrs in 1978. And she was a leader on a dominant team and program that won 4 consecutive state championships and never lost a game in her 4 years. She and her team set the standard for high school girls soccer and demonstrated how the game should be played prior to it taking off. With graduation, she took her incredible athletic ability, speed, and power over the hill in Storrs to play at UConn. She immediately helped the Huskies finish the 1982 regular season poll #1 in the nation. Her lone goal beat Brown University 1-0 in 1984 to send UConn to the Final Four. And during her time, UConn made 3 consecutive Final Four appearances, including making the title game in 1984, and lifted them to prominence nationally, similar to how she helped lift E.O. Smith in Connecticut. After 40 years, her 44 goals and 11 assists still rank 8th all-time at UConn. For her outstanding impact on Connecticut soccer, as a goal scorer, as a player, as a role model, she's being inducted tonight. Please join me now in welcoming Catherine ShankWeiler into the Connecticut Soccer Hall of Fame.
Do what you're told.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. This is such an honor and such a privilege. I have to take a breath. I decided not to read a speech tonight. I just want to be present for everybody and really just take in this night and share what to me was like a wave, like a surfer riding a wave that got me from being a little kid to standing here right now tonight. And there's a little history here that's kind of relevant, having to do with the struggles that women's sports went through right around the time that I wanted to play. And I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Title IX, probably the women's movement before that. A very strong mother who was devoted her academic life to women's studies and women and work, and who was an amazing athlete in her own right. She was from Britain and played on a netball team and was on the reserve national team as well. So she can't be here tonight, but she made sure that I was going to tell you this. My mother is not shy, unlike her daughter. And I want to thank my family, my beautiful family, for being here tonight. My dad inspired me by becoming a runner at the age of 30. But wait, I was, okay. Anyway, he was not a spring chicken. And I had to tell him to wear running shoes, not Stan Smith's. But so he ran until his 70s, and I think I just learned to understand what it meant to commit yourself to something and to just be so in love with something. My mom unfortunately got injured when she was pretty young, so I didn't get to see her blood or hear about her stories like I have stories to tell tonight. So I just wanted to go back to being a little kid in a town that I think is the most amazing town in the country, which is Mansfield. There was so much soccer. It was like a fever in my town. I had like everything laid out for me like a carpet. So everything from walking onto a team that already had all these amazing players and parents that were involved, and having them all support me in becoming the best player I could become. And then going back a little further than that, my town had several different, I guess you'd say, in my middle school there was 2 layers of education, and one was called alternate and one was called regular. An alternate program was kids would get to have different teachers throughout the day, and I feel like I was blessed with teachers who wanted to have a different way of educating that wasn't just the old school stand in one room every day. And I had a teacher named Phyllis Lauder, who was also my judo instructor and my biology teacher and my homeroom teacher. And we didn't have role models when I was a kid, like as far as women in sports. So Phyllis, I don't know, she just stands in my mind as somebody who I need to recognize tonight. And then I have a funny story about being, I think, 8 years old, and there was a little like field day at my school, and kids from other schools came, and who would show up but Melissa Maroney. I'm sure the Maroney means a lot to everybody here from Joe Maroney's program at UConn. But Melissa and I were in a running race, and I remember us being neck to neck, and all I wanted in the entire world was to beat this athletic, amazing girl that I'd never met before. And I don't know who won, but all I knew is I got a taste for competition that night, and it was like, that's it. This is what I meant to do. And then a little bit later on, I remember like the high school was so supportive of girls and women. And so I just want to honor anyone who's done something to help girls and women in sports, because we are come such a long way. And so another important thing, when I was in high school playing for Len Santeras, who had played at UConn himself, I feel like he just made it so possible for girls to believe in themselves. And while I was at E.O. Smith doing what we did, which I loved, Felice Duffy was busy, when I was a senior, she was busy making sure that UConn transferred the status of women's sports from AIAW to NCAA. And NCAA was, up until about that time, only governing men's sports, and the AIAW wanted to protect women from being corrupted by commercialism. Unfortunately, that meant you also didn't have scholarships, you didn't have recruitment, you didn't have a championship game. We had so much to gain by going NCAA, and Felice made that happen. So this is for Felice. I wouldn't be here without her. College was amazing, being able to be coached by Lenny both in high school and in college, except for 1 year with Austin, which I want to just take that extra moment to think of Austin Daniels right now. He made the game fun. Lenny made the game fun. I felt like I was so blessed to be an athlete when you didn't have to give up your life. To play at that level and not have to have nothing else that you could do besides your sport. It was just fun. I just loved every minute of it. Even like we had to sprint up this hill called Suicide Hill. I don't know if any of you UConn people here, but it was like that. And we would still be laughing, and everything was, I don't know, it was like a dream. It was like riding a wave. And I do feel like I wished I had gotten to play professionally, and maybe it's a big thing in my my mind of could I have, you know. But being here tonight is just the icing on the cake. It just brings everything to a beautiful closure. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Curtis, Jeff, my sister and I, my sister Sarah, we had epic backyard battles, and she really brought my competition to a head, I think, Sarah. Thank you, Sasha. Played hockey at Yale. And then my friends Paul and Roberta, they supported me during those UConn years, traveling as far as I think North Carolina maybe, George Mason. You guys just, I couldn't have done it without you. So thank you. And everybody here, I'm sorry to ignore this side. It's just an amazing experience, and I just want to thank you all.